who would you say is the most likely to forget their passport on an away day?
I think I'd be up there maybe. Me, or myself, or Rodri. Yeah, Rodri likes to forget a few things. I think he's forgot his passport a few times anyway, so.
Hey everyone, James here with FuboTV, joined today with Manchester City and England star Jack Grealish. Jack, how are you today, mate?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Looking forward to it. Super excited to have you here today. Hoping to have some fun with this one today. I've done a few of these questions with a few of your other teammates, so I'm curious to see what your answers are like compared to theirs. Obviously, so just getting cracking on here with some rapid fire questions. Who was your footballing idol growing up?
Growing up, my footballing idol was Gabby Abonho, who was obviously a player for Aston Villa, who, yeah, I loved watching, and he scored a lot of important goals for Villa. So,
proper legend for sure, Gabby Abonho. And I guess who would you say the best player you ever played with was?
The best player I've ever played with would have to be Kevin De Bruyne, an absolute magician, and yeah, scored and assisted so many important goals in important games that I've played in for Manchester City. So yeah, I'd say Kev.
Definitely. And I guess on the flip side, who would you say the best player you ever played against was?
The best player I've ever played against would be Lionel Messi, for obvious reasons. You know, I played against him when he was at PSG, and obviously I was here at Manchester City in my first season, so it was a privilege, you know, just to be on the same pitch as him.
And I guess maybe this might be the answer to your next question as well, but if you could swap shirts, you know, post-match with any footballer, past or present, who would it be?
It would have to be Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, someone that, you know, I just grew up watching like YouTube videos and stuff of him. I absolutely love Zidane as a player. He could do absolutely everything. And yeah, he just had that aura about him. So yeah, I'd say Zidane.
Proper magician with the ball, Zidane was. And I guess this is going to be a little bit of a sentimental one, but did you ever have any moments that football made you cry, whether, you know, as a player or as a fan or growing up? Did you ever have a moment where you just got so emotional with what you kind of were experiencing?
Yeah, after the Champions League final, you know, when we won the treble, I was on the pitch, and yeah, just become a little bit emotional, you know, in my interview because of what I'd achieved, and yeah, it just felt like, you know, every little bit of hard work from over the years that I'd put in, it felt like you'd finally, you know, accomplished it. So yeah, I'd say this.
Moving on to, I guess, a little bit of your style. I know you're known for, you know, your low sock height. Where did that come from? Was that something that you always kind of had since you were a kid? You were a little bit younger, you always had that low sock height, or is that something you just kind of adopted as you kind of grew into the game a little bit more?
Yeah, no, it was something that happened when I was about 16, 17. It's actually a bit of a weird one. It was just that the socks, like obviously when you're young, you have to wear high socks for training, and they kept shrinking and they wouldn't come over my calves. And then ever since then, yeah, I just kept it like this because, you know, it become, that season I ended up having a really good season, and yeah, then I just kept my socks low from then. Obviously I've always wore, you know, kind of small shin pads. So it just worked out nice, and ever since, yeah, I was about 16, 17, I've worn my socks, you know, low.
This is going to be a little bit more on the personal side for you. So I guess, you know, when it comes to, you know, your music taste, do you have like a specific artist or song that you'd consider a guilty pleasure that maybe you don't like to admit?
No, do you know what? It's weird because my music taste is so different. I like just every type of music. So yeah, I like everything, honestly, whether it be 80s, 90s, house music, R&B, but a guilty pleasure song, I'd say, I don't know, I like anything, whether it be, yeah, all the sing-along songs, Robbie Williams, stuff like this. I love them all. Ed Sheeran, I love all that type of music.
And then I guess kind of on the same lines of that, if you could potentially swap lives with any celebrity for a day, who would that be?
Probably Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, I think he lives quite a cool life, and he seems like a cool guy, so yeah, I'd say him.
And I guess moving back onto the football pitch a little bit, just another curious question here. If you could score a wonder goal in any stadium, any situation in the world, what would that moment be and why?
At the Bernabeu in the Champions League, I think would be nice. I've played there quite a few times now for City, so obviously I've not scored there, but yeah, I think it's quite an iconic stadium, and growing up it was somewhere that I always wanted to play in, so yeah, I would say either there or maybe at Wembley in a cup final or something.
All right, Jack, moving on to a little bit more about your Manchester City teammates. We're going to do some Manchester City squad superlatives. I'm going to name off a few different things, and I want you to let me know which of your teammates comes to mind first. Sounds good? Most underrated player in the Manchester City squad?
I would say Ilkay Gundogan. I think he is rated, but yeah, he's just such a special player the way he plays football, so I would say him.
Definitely. And then who would you say the funniest player in the squad is?
The funniest player in the squad would be Bernardo Silva, I think.
Sneakily funny?
Yeah, he's funny, yeah. He's just a little wind-up merchant, so yeah, he's so good to have around, and yeah, funny guy.
Yeah, it gets everybody going. So who would you say the best dressed player in the squad is?
The best dressed player for me would probably be Kyle Walker. Yeah, I know that a lot of the guys here love their fashion. But yeah, for me, I'd probably say if I had to take someone's wardrobe, it would probably be Kyle's.
Yeah, it's interesting. He said the same thing about himself, so it's good that you guys are on the same page there. And then who would you say, I guess, the most skillful player in training is, other than yourself, of course?
I would say Phil Foden. As you can imagine, he has this way about him. Yeah, he loves dribbling, and yeah, he's an unbelievable player. So I would say Phil, yeah.
And I guess who spends the most time in front of the mirror in the change room?
I would say either myself or John Stones. He loves it as well. So yeah, I'd say either one of us two, yeah.
And then who is the changing room DJ? Who's getting the tunes going before the game?
Yeah, no, that's me. So it's always like my playlist here that we play. So I don't know what the other guys say about my music. I think it's good. Like I said to you earlier, it's a lot of different stuff. But yeah, myself.
Who would you say is the most likely to forget their passport on an away day?
I think I'd be up there maybe. Myself or Rodri. Yeah, Rodri likes to forget a few things. I think he's forgot his passport a few times anyway, so yeah, I would say either me or Rodri.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have pegged Rodri as the type of guy to forget things, given how kind of how he is on the pitch. But yeah, interesting to hear. We're gonna do a quick this or that with footballing legends. So I'm gonna give you two legends. You let me know which one you prefer: Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Lionel Messi.
Xavi or Iniesta?
I love both of them, but Iniesta.
Neymar or Hazard?
Hazard, just because of the way he played, is more like myself.
Rooney or Suarez?
Wayne Rooney.
And then last one here, two English legends in the midfield, Gerrard or Lampard?
I'd have to go Gerrard, but I love Lampard as well.
And then wrapping it up here, the last question. So I'd love for you to give me your five-a-side team of players that you've played alongside. So these can either be guys that you've had the most fun playing with, you had the best connection with on the pitch, but if you had to go out there for a five-a-side game, who are you bringing with you?
I would go Edison in goal. I would put Harry Kane and Erling Haaland up front together. I would put Kevin De Bruyne behind them. And then I would play with no defender, and I would put Rodri as a defensive midfielder. So my team would just be all about keeping the ball and scoring goals. So yeah, Kane and Haaland up front, and then De Bruyne and Rodri in midfield.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to find too many better squads than that, so I think you'd be all right there. Jack, that's all I got for you today. Thanks again for the time this morning, mate. Good luck with the rest of the season, and take care.
Cheers. Thank you, mate.